Hello everybody, it's Jackie here. If you've read my blog post, you'll know that I've made some dimensional circlies. That was the title that our swap hostess came up with. I've been known to describe them as circular ATCs. Obviously they're not traditional 2.5 by 3.5 ATCs, but nonetheless I guess they are a kind of trading card, but in a circle. If you've looked at my blog, you've seen the photographs, but I just thought it might be interesting to go through them one by one fairly quickly and just show you a bit of the dimension and some of the process that I went through to make them. I did like how these turned out and I really enjoyed making them. First one I made was, I should say we were meant to use, for the swap, we were meant to use complementary colours. So I started with purple and yellow backgrounds. All the backgrounds are Tim Holtz distress inks, sorry, and they're put on with the foam applicator, and then I've just splashed them with water just to give a little bit more interest in the background. You can perhaps, I don't know if you can pick that up on the camera here, but it just, as I say, adds interest, and it was a technique he used in his recent online class. So as I said, this was the first one I made. The stamp I just happened literally to have lying on my desk. I tried it in another project and not used it. I had no plan at all when I made these. So I did the background, stamped the stamp, which is this one. It's an old Character Constructions stamp. I've had it for years. You can tell how long I've had it. It's from the days when we had unmounted stamps and we spent hours sticking them to wooden blocks. Obviously I think it was before anybody had thought of acrylic blocks for stamps. So I stamped part of the image on the card, stamped it again on some purple paper and on some yellow paper, and then just cut out sections so that it's a paper piecing exercise really. Mounted it on foam pads and then punched out a Martha Stewart butterfly. That's this punch here. I did it in purple and in yellow, crackle glazed those, added a bit of glitter. I think you can see that here on the butterflies. That's Stickles Starry Night. There was a time when I never used glitter. I used to think it was a bit kitsy. Now I use it quite a lot, and I think that there's very little that can't be improved with a little touch of glitter or a little touch of bling. So that was my first one, and I really liked how that turned out, so it gave me the enthusiasm to carry on with the others. This actually was the last one I made. It's not my favourite. I was probably, sorry about that, I was probably running out of ideas. So it's quite similar in some ways to the first one. The stamps are from Oxford Impressions, the dress form there, and the lace is a paper Artsy stamp. I've used some little wild orchid roses on the side there, and again glittered up with the Stickles Starry Night. And the third purple and yellow one is it's actually an oval stamp, which didn't work too well on a circle. I should have thought of that before I did it, but I liked the way the moth turned out. I did that obviously again on a separate piece of paper, and I've used metallic pens and glitter to colour that in. So I decided to go with it, added a bit of bling at the bottom here to cover up where the stamp hadn't quite covered the background, and a bow at the top here. I've actually edged this one in gold Krylon. All of the others are edged in black soot, so this one is a bit different, but for me that's not important that it's exactly the same as the others. So then it's blue and orange. This is one of the first ones I did in blue and orange, and obviously you can see it's made up of flowers. It's a Paper Artsy, oh yes, I've got it here, Paper Artsy squiggly ink set, tops and tails 6, and I've just stamped the flowers. This one here at the bottom is the flower from the top of his hat. I've layered those onto cards, so they're quite sturdy really, and the little orange bits in the middle are flower punches. These 2 flower punches. One is Paper Studio, the bigger one, and the other is Woodware. I've used the little butterflies again from the Martha Stewart punch, put some stickles on them, glued them on and just raised their wings a little bit, and then there's some orange coloured bling in the flower centres. This is Marcy from Stampotique. It's a bit grungier, this one, but Marcy is one of my favourite stamps. Again, she's raised on foam pads. I only had white foam pads, this type of thing, so I use those, stick them onto the back of my cutout piece, and then just go round the edge with a black marker so that it tones in better than the white pads would do. Marcy has got a few ants in the background. I'd have liked them to be spiders, but I don't have a spider stamp, so the ant had to do. And she's got a little bit of stickles on her bows here, and that's patina, I think that one is. She's actually been stamped on a sort of grungy green paper that I happen to have. This one I like the background. The dots where the water is splashed on is a bit more obvious on this one probably. This is a old Lynn Perella stamp. AC Doocy was her company. Paper Artsy are now producing stamps by Lynn Perella. She's been a favourite of mine for ever since I started stamping, which is about 15 years. And I haven't used them a great deal, but I still love them. So I've just done the same thing, stamped the stamp on the background and then re-stamped it on green paper, blue paper and a sort of orangey paper. Layered those up with foam pads each section, so the background, then the blue face, which I've cut out separately, and the orange butterfly. The butterfly has been glittered with bronze stickles, and that one is, I think, finished. It's perhaps a little plainer than the rest, but I like it just like that. And then we come on to red and green. I've done 3 of those as well. First one is Paper Artsy stamp. Got those here. These are 3 mini stamps that they produce, and these are the 3 I've used for my last 3 Circlies. So this is the Cockatoo, I suppose he is, and he's been cut out of pink paper, a sort of green and lilac pattern paper and a bit of yellow here, and then I've cut out each section, mounted them up or layered them up, and mounted them again on the foam pads to give the dimension, cut the clock out of a separate bit of paper and the bottom piece of the stamp as a separate bit. And then to embellish that I've used some tiny clock parts which I've just glued on with glossy accents and a bit more glitter. This one is one of my favourites. This again is the Paper Artsy Birdhouse. This was the fiddliest to make because I've cut out really tiny pieces here in different colours to add interest to that image, but it can be done, just a bit of patience. And then the final one is the paper Artsy house. I did it with the flowers at the bottom here and glossy accents, different pieces of the pattern paper for these sections and the roof, a little butterfly, and I didn't put the leaves on originally, but it looked a bit plain to me and I couldn't really think what it needed, but leaves came to mind, and this is a Sizzix die which I've cut out with a Cuttlebug. It's quite a big spray of leaves, so I've cut it out and then cut little sections off, layered it up with black pieces so that it's a bit more like chipboard, and just put it, as you can see, behind the roof. And in the end, that one again is one of my favourites. I hope that's been of some interest to you. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.